Last time on Why Can't We Be Wizards? You guys all wake up. You're all putting on your ties, getting ready for the first day of school.
Freya is in a bit of a daze. She sees the tie and puts it on, but is not somehow waking up and is not expecting them to be blue.
I don't know if you know this, but there's a secret pool there. We're all gonna hang out at the pool.
Cool. How old are you guys? I'm a first year.
Yeah, we know you're a first year. Hello there. I am Professor Pritchard, and I am the head of Ravenclaw House. Can anyone tell me what transfiguration is?
Leo looks around and sees, okay, it's marbles. Marbles, alright.
It changes to the color you're imagining, but it retains its thimble shape. I am Professor Fessel, and I am your defense against the dark arts teacher. I used to be an Auror. First year, though, it's a bit of a laugh if you ask me.
Are you saying you killed someone?
Don't you ever ask me that question again.
Yeah, sure. I mean, we can explore the castle. It's our first day.
It's Tuesday. You made it through your first day at Hogwarts. Quidditch tryouts are today. It sounded like Skyler got a special invite to the tryouts, but they're open to anybody. Is anyone else gonna try out for the team?
Yeah, I think Leo is definitely going to try out. He's very, very jealous about that.
Freya's just gonna go and watch them.
And Caleb's definitely going to try out.
Allison's gonna watch, but she is gonna question why first years are allowed on the team.
Wait, so first years were never not allowed on the team, right? It was always only...
It was just rare.
It was hard for them to make the team because they weren't allowed their own broomsticks, and generally they were little kids and not very good at it.
Also, they were just learning how to fly.
Oh, I thought McGonagall had to, get special permission for Harry to be on the team.
No, she had to get special permission for Harry to have his own broomstick.
So he could practice, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So you've learned through the course of the day that there are 2 open positions on the Ravenclaw Quidditch team. The positions of Seeker, both beaters, and 2 of the chasers are already filled by returning members. But there is 1 chaser spot still currently open. And there is also the position of keeper, which has yet to be filled. So the 5 of you, after class is over, start to make your way down to the Quidditch pitch.
Oh, man.
Allison skips along pretty excitedly because she wants to watch her friends try out for the team, and she's never actually seen a Quidditch match, so she's pretty excited even just to see a practice.
Skylar's curious and a little nervous, but whatever. If I don't make it, it's still my first year.
Are you guys good at flying on broomsticks?
Oh, no.
I mean, I've seen someone do it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Allison's parents don't have any, so...
Yeah, we kind of live in the suburbs. It's a little hard to fly around in the suburbs.
But I think it'd be really important to learn. Imagine how powerful it would be to fly.
Well, I think we're learning that tomorrow, actually.
Seems like a lot of fun. Wind in your hair.
I've always wanted to fly on broomsticks. My parents would never let me.
Oh my god, so this is going to be literally the first time that your character has ever gone on a broomstick as well? Have any of you ever gone on broomsticks before now that you're all trying out for Quidditch?
Nope.
I've only just caught an egg.
Leo has only ever tried to catch an egg.
Well, Skylar, you could have.
The thing is, too, is that, you caught an egg, but also, Seeker isn't even available.
Yeah. No, I don't think, Skylar before 8 rode a broom. Maybe, a toy one that didn't, touch off the ground, you know?
Go very high.
I want to... Can I inspire Leo to do well in this practice?
Aw.
Yes, you can try.
Cool.
Yeah, how?
So I feel bad about the egg situation, and I really want this to go well for him. So I'm gonna put both my hands on Leo and look him in the eyes and say, Leo, listen, I see a lot of potential. I think you're gonna do great. And just know that when you're in the air, I'm gonna be on the ground cheering you with all my heart.
Oh, thanks, Skyler.
Wait, but aren't you trying as well?
Oh, do we do it at the same time?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know how tryout work. Yeah, I just assumed like it'd be one at a time. But yeah, I'm rooting for you, Leo.
Well, thank you, Skyler. That means a lot.
Do I roll for it, and then does it get like a bonus?
Yes. So basically, roll plus soul when you try to inspire others. On a 10 plus, you inspire someone.
Yes, that's what I want.
On a 7 to 9, you also inspire someone, but less.
Yeah.
So on a 10 plus, you get two of these options. On a 7 to 9, you get one of them. So you make another person feel strong, which is +1 forward to body. You make another person feel perceptive, which is +1 forward to heart. Or you make another person feel clever, which is +1 forward to mind. On a 6 or lower, however, you aren't convincing, and the other person takes -2 forward to body, heart, or mind, depending on the inspiration.
All right.
Oh, man.
I hope this goes well for your sake, Leo.
Me too.
Oh.
Okay. 8.
And that's with plus soul.
Yeah.
So yeah, on a 7 to 9, you get to choose one of those.
Body.
Did you just cough something at me?
Yeah, Leo has -2 body, and it's Quidditch.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll give you the body perk. And I think that at the end of my great speech, I'm just going to give Leo a big hug. And I think that I squeeze him really tight, and that's, invigorates his body. He's like, yeah.
Aww.
Okay, yeah, so this awkward hug happens actually like right outside the Quidditch pitch. As you finish your embrace, everybody walks onto the pitch, and there's already a big congregation. There's only 2 spots open, but there looks to be something like 20 plus other Ravenclaws all trying out for these spots. In front of this crowd, you see Danica and some of the other members of the Ravenclaw Quidditch team. They're actually already wearing their robes, and they have their broomsticks. Danica kind of like takes a step forward and starts speaking, and she says, all right. Now I know there's quite a few of you. So we're going to start this nice and early and easy. And we'll just kind of go from there. So we're looking for a keeper and a chaser. Before we get started, does anybody have any questions?
Have we been handed brooms yet?
No, you have not.
Do we see like an obvious place the brooms are?
You do not.
Okay, I'm gonna raise my hand.
Yes, you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Skyler, right?
Yeah. Were we supposed to bring our own brooms? Because we don't have any.
Oh, right. You're first years. Yeah. No. So we have some training brooms over in the locker room over there, and she points to an opening in the corner of the pitch.
Okay, I'm gonna try to like bolt and get there and back before missing anything, because I don't want to miss anything.
Come on, Leo. Caleb's gonna sprint after Skyler.
Leo sprints up behind, trying to catch up.
So what are Freya and Allison doing?
So Freya has seen Quidditch before, so she's was just hoping to watch to see how the others are going to do. She likes them, but is not very hopeful that they're going to do very well. So she's just like waiting for them to fail and being ready to pick up the pieces.
Allison kind of gives Freya a gentle elbow on the side, and says, "Hey, why don't we go find a spot on the bleachers where we can watch them all fly? I don't really want to be down here looking up."
I guess that's a fair point.
Great. Allison walks off to find the staircase into the bleachers to like get a good seat.
Yeah, you find it pretty easily, and the two of you start climbing the stairs.
Do you really think that either of them or any of them are going to get on the team?
Well, I think Skyler might have a shot. They're pretty
None of them have
athletic.
flown before.
I mean, yeah, that's true.
I think it's more likely that they're going to get hurt.
Oh, people get hurt often?
You're in the air. Of course people get hurt.
But this is like school. Shouldn't you Don't they like wear equipment like padding or like face masks? Or...
Not really. Did you see what those other students were wearing? They're just robes. People fall all the time.
Oh, I thought those were just like, they're like workout practice clothes, and then they were gonna put padding on when they started actually playing?
No.
Oh.
A lot of the time they don't even wear helmets.
Wow.
It's kind of a dangerous sport. Probably should be more regulations on that.
Yeah, well, well, can it get any, like, more dangerous?
I mean, you've never seen Quidditch, right?
No, my dad's not quite, athletic, sporty.
He's not a sports guy.
He's not a sports guy. No, he, draws. He's an artist.
Right. So there's... Not only are you in the air with no, like, equipment to protect you, also members of the team have bats, and there's also things called bludgers that fly around and try to hit you.
Allison is starting to look horrified at the
Yeah.
concept of this game.
Now you understand why I'm concerned.
Huh. Okay. Well, I am starting to get a little concerned for Leo.
So the three of you, Skyler, Leo, and Caleb, as you make your way over to the locker room, you find a section that has some old used equipment. You see 3 brooms left, but only 2 of them look like they're in proper working order. The third one kind of looks beat up. Not broken. Broken is probably a strong word, but like the bottom of it is really frayed and like it looks chipped. The handle is kind of like almost falling off.
Caleb grimaces and grabs the broken broom, and then he says,
Oh.
I'll meet you out there, and starts running back to the field.
Oh, Caleb. I shake my head. I grab the other broom and run after him.
I think Leo had already like put his fist on his palm, like ready to play rock, paper, scissors for it. And he was like, oh, okay. Grabs one of the other brooms and follows.
Okay, yeah, as you head back out, you can tell Danica's already in the middle of a passioned speech about the importance of teamwork and communication and whatnot. All right, now to start off, we're just going to take it nice and simple. Everybody mount up. We're just going to take a quick lap around the pitch just to make sure that everyone has their sea legs.
Caleb!
Yeah, Skyler.
Caleb, I heard of this spell called Reparo. Let me try it on your broom.
Yeah, I mean, what could it hurt?
All right, get off the broom. Put it on the ground. Quick.
Caleb does that.
Okay, I'm going to attempt to cast Reparo on the broom.
Okay, roll magic.
My mom used to do it all the time. Okay, good.
Is it on your spell list?
No, it's not. 5, 6, 7.
Okay, so with a 7, that's a mixed success.
Alright.
That means...
Not a failure, though, right?
Well,
Do I get a star for it?
So on a 7 to 9, the spell... No, you don't get a
Okay.
star for it. On a 7 to 9, the spell succeeds, but there are side
Okay.
effects. Choose 2. One of the other players takes a condition from the partial misfire. The other players choose. The spell has a diminished effect. Someone or something is alerted to the casting of the spell, or your wand is thrown from your hands and lands nearby.
But if my wand's thrown on my hands, the spell still happens?
Yeah, in all cases, the spell still
Cool.
happens. So I think, first of all, what has happened is this broom is now repaired and it's in proper working order.
Cool, okay. I think my wand's gonna fly out of my hands.
Okay.
And I have to pick 2, right?
Yes.
And then probably Danica maybe notices.
Yeah, so she's already now mounted her broom and is about to kick off at this point when she notices this little escapade happening. She kind of like puts her hand to her forehead and just shakes back and forth, like under her breath. She's just like, first years, oh my god. And, oh my wizard god. And at this point she says, all right, kick off. So you have a choice. You can go run and pick up your wand.
No, I'm just gonna leave
and
it.
be lagging behind
I'm
everybody
gonna leave
else.
the wand.
Okay, you're gonna
Yeah,
leave
whatever.
it. Okay. Yeah, everybody's kicking off now. It is time to try to fly. I want all of you to roll. So this one is, I think, a little bit interesting because just knowing how to fly, you could make an argument could be several of these options. The obvious ones are the body rolls, but I could see the argument that you could do something else. Like, for example, show courage is one that I could buy.
What about mind? I want to say that my character has actually read possibly some books on Quidditch and was interested in how flying and the mechanics of flight worked.
So the mind roll, I read about that roll doesn't really, I don't think apply, because I read about that isn't, oh, you have this knowledge now and then can do it. It's more like you remember some history and I can give you some answers about those questions. Like, you get to ask me questions is how that one works.
So it's like reading about bikes versus riding a bike.
Yeah, I mean, you could argue that, I guess that's fair. Like, you can say you know how flying conceptually works, but you still never tried it before. I think you're still going to need to make a second roll after that.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to do show courage.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to roll mind, and then I'm going to roll body.
All right.
All right, so I got a 10 on my I read about that.
Okay. I think that means, in this case, that you kick off and are in the air.
I look down at the stands to where Allison and Freya are, and I start to give a wave, and then quickly realize I need both hands on this broomstick.
Allison gives a double thumbs up from the stands.
I just have my face in my hand and I'm just like, God, really?
I think Leo maybe would need to go for the show courage as well, because he's so far been motivated by embarrassment over the egg situation and is just trying to work up the like, all right, I can do this.
Okay. Roll it.
All right. That's 8 plus 0.
On a 7 to 9, you stand strong, but are still scared of this terror.
That sounds right.
I think in this case, what that means is you are able to kick off and start flying, but you're like really shaky about it, and the broom is like not really following your instructions.
I think maybe also Leo's like made eye contact with Skyler and given her a thumbs up, like, yeah, thanks for the encouragement. Whoa, I should pay attention.
All right. 7.
What are you rolling?
I'm rolling soul, show courage.
Okay, cool. So you managed similar situation to Leo. You kick off, you make it, but you're also like having trouble controlling your broom.
Yeah. Whoa! This feels so weird, you guys!
Okay, so now you guys are on these bucking brooms, barely sort of managing to take the lap. Most of the rest of the team and everyone else trying out are just sort of like lazily moving around. There's one or two others who, in one case, one of the third years who's there, he tried to kick off and it didn't happen.
Oh.
He just didn't know how, like, it didn't happen at all. For Skyler and Leo, you guys take a while to like finally manage to get to the other end and land. You think as you land that Danica definitely took notice of the fact that you did not do very well in the basic flying challenge. All right, guys, we're gonna break up into groups now. Those of you who are trying out for keeper, you're gonna head over to the goalposts, and she points to her left. And those of you who are trying out for the chaser spot, you're going to head right to the middle of the pitch, all right?
Caleb looks at his friends like, what are you going to do?
Kind of wish beater was open. Maybe it will be next year. Question for Kevin. Do we roll differently for the different positions?
You're going to be doing completely different drills.
Right. Do we roll like for mind for chaser and soul for keeper?
You'll find out.
Okay.
I think being a keeper, if it's anything like football, means that you'd catch stuff, and you caught that egg so well.
Ooh, yeah. All right, I'm gonna go to do keeper.
Maybe I'll go down to chaser.
Yeah, Leo was also thinking keeper, I think, although he only made that decision just now because he hadn't really thought about it. But he's embarrassed about not catching the egg, and he wants to try to catch some things.
The idea, by the way, that all of these characters are going to Quidditch tryouts, not actually knowing what position they want to play, is absolutely startling.
Yep.
Yeah, why don't we go over the chaser trial first? So when you walk over to the center of the pitch, Danica is actually not there. She's actually let the two chasers who are currently on the team run this drill. So you see these two boys who also look older. One you imagine is actually a 7th year. The other one's a little bit younger, but you're not really sure. They introduce themselves as Reed and Cameron. So what you're going to have to do is, this is a formation drill. You're going to have to fly with the two of them around the pitch, and you need to be able to move in and out of a triangle formation. And during that formation, you also need to pass the quaffle around.
When they say the word quaffle, Caleb nods as if he knows what that is. Just gonna pass the quaffle around.
As soon as you start nodding like that, Cameron says, all right, who wants to go first? And he sees you nodding, and he's like, all right, come on, let's go.
Yeah. Woo! All right, where's those quaffles? Are they discs? I mean, they're not discs.
Okay, so Cameron and Reed just like look at each other like, oh my god, what is... Okay. And they ask you to get into a triangle. You're going to be starting on the left. Cameron is in the center, and Reed is on the right side. Cameron turns to you and says, all right, we're going to kick off. We're going to make a loop around the goalpost to the west, and then as we loop around, we're going to have you and Reed switch places. And when you do that, I need you to make a forward pass to me, okay?
Yes, sir, Cameron, sir.
And he tosses you a red ball.
Caleb catches it.
Kicking off, you start to head along with these guys. And so what I'm going to have you do is, as you're passing around the hoops, I need you to make a body roll for me.
Okay, all right. It's a 10 minus 1.
Okay, so on a 7 to 9, so that's going to be a mixed success. I think what's actually going to happen is you are going to manage to make the turn and stay like pretty tight in formation with these guys. Mm-hmm. And as you make the turn, you even manage to do the split that they were asking you to. But in the process of doing that, you fumble the quaffle and just drop it on the ground.
On the broom.
While they're flying around, can Allison try to notice the wand, Skyler's wand that's on the pitch?
Oh yeah, totally.
Alrighty. I got a 12 plus 1.
Oh, wow. Dang.
Whoa.
On my notice something mind roll.
Eagle eyes.
Okay, yeah, no, you absolutely see that wand, and it's just lying on the side of the pitch.
Alrighty, I'm gonna elbow Freya again and say, Freya, Skyler's wand, they dropped it. It's like right out there in the middle of the pitch.
In the middle of the pitch?
Yeah, it's right there. And Allison like points really aggressively to where it is.
I wouldn't go out there now, though. Look at all of them flying.
But they're in the air. We can just run out there and like nab it off the ground.
I suppose.
I don't want it to get like broken or something. If someone like lands on it or whatever those bludgeoning things.
Bludgeoning things? You mean bludgers?
I guess so. Yeah, is that red ball?
No, that's a quaffle. I don't think they have them out right now. So actually, it probably is okay to go get it.
Okay, let's go.
All right.
Yeah. So the two of you head down, and as you are walking towards the spot where the wand is, I want both of you to make a tough it out roll.
Allison got a 4.
I got an 8.
Suddenly, as you are getting close to where the wand is, Freya, you see somebody, a 3rd year, who does not have very good control over their broom, is careening towards the two of you.
Oh no.
How do you avoid this? Wait, what did you get? You got an 8,
I got an 8, yeah. Okay. So I'm just gonna, like, flush myself against the floor, like, fall to the floor and, like, make sure that I'm as even with the floor as possible so that they just fly over me.
You just managed, like, barely to drop to the ground, and this wild Quidditch player does not manage to hit you, but you are on the ground prone now.
So Allison is gonna, like, as she goes to reach for the wand, she's just gonna, like, deer in the headlights as this thing comes, like, hurtling at her.
Yeah, you take this full in the face.
Crunch.
Crunch, like, hardcore, like, thrown off your feet, landing, like, in a heap on the ground. And you have a very severe bloody nose.
Oh no.
Do I take a condition for this? Am I now injured?
You totally take a condition for this.
I also get a star of experience.
Yes, you do.
Allison's gonna just lie on her back with, like, her nose all bloody and just stare at the sky. Finally realizing why Quidditch is a dangerous sport.
Yeah, this practice has, like, already devolved pretty much into chaos. There's just way too many kids. There's just way too many kids for Danica to really, like, keep up with them. And furthermore, she's, like, really invested in Quidditch, so she mostly just cares about, like, finding the best players, and she's just not really paying attention to the fact that there's just, like, kids getting injured on the field. So you just lay there, like, there's no older student or adult comes to help you.
Freya's just gonna run really quickly and grab the wand and then run back over to Allison to check on her.
Wand first, huh?
She's not dead.
How do you know that? She's not moving.
I mean, she just got hit by a player. It's fine.
Allison just sort of groans, like, ugh.
Oh, it's fine. You're fine. You just have a bloody nose.
Wait, I'm bleeding? And Allison, like, sticks her fingers up her nose.
Oh my god, there is blood running down your robes at this point.
Maybe we should go to the hospital wing.
I don't know. This ground is pretty comfy.
Some nice grass.
I don't know. There's a lot of blood, Allison.
Okay, Allison, like, tries to do that, like, kind of stagger up and, like, tries to, like, pinch the bridge of her nose and, like, tip her head back.
So as this is all happening, you guys look up to see Leo right in the middle of his keeper trial. So the keeper trial that you need to accomplish is actually a pretty simple one. You're doing hand drills. What that means is one of the other players on the team, so in this case the two beaters are actually running this drill for you. They're just taking quaffles and just throwing them directly at you.
Nice.
All right.
They're going to throw 5 quaffles right at you, and you need to catch each one of them. So what I'm going to have you do is I'm just going to have you roll a d6 for each one, and on a 4, 5, or 6, you catch it. On a 3 or lower, you fail to catch it.
Okay. I was just about to say that I think he misses the first 2 just implicitly, but, like, I'll roll.
No, that's fine too. Like, yeah, if that's what you think Leo does.
Honestly, he's so focused on trying to figure out how to fly that he's not even aware of the first 2 going by. All right. So what am I rolling?
So just roll a d6.
Oh, just a d6.
And you're going to roll. You already missed the first 2, so just roll a d6 3 times.
Okay. That's a 4, a 5, and a 1.
Okay, so that means that you caught 2 out of 5 quaffles.
Better than it could have been.
It's not none.
The 2 beaters, who previously introduced themselves to you as Marcus and Shelby, they kind of wave you off. All right, next. Like, they're not really interested. They just want the trial to keep going. And next up is Skyler.
Hey guys, quick question. What year are you guys in? I want their position next year.
Oh, God.
Next year. Like whenever they graduate, you know.
Yeah, Marcus and Shelby look at each other, and Shelby's like, well, I'm a 6th year.
Cool.
And Marcus is in 7th.
Nice. Yeah, you guys must be super good.
Okay.
Let's do this.
Thank you. They look very confused. Like, we're just gonna keep this moving, okay?
Yeah.
We got a lot to go through
Let's do
today. And they start throwing quaffles at you.
Right.
So, I'm sorry. So before you
yeah.
roll, Skylar is gonna have a +2
Oh, cool.
on this because of their hands.
Oh, right. That's right. My weird hands. All right, cool. I rolled a 1, so +2 is 3. 4, so 6. Another 4, so 6 again. 2, so 4. And Another 1. 3.
They push you on. Although they did notice on that 2 roll that you had that your fingers almost imperceptibly
Oh, they totally did.
extended.
They lengthened.
You did you caught it, but you shouldn't have
Yeah.
it, which was very impressive and athletic looking, and they noticed that and were impressed.
Awesome. Okay. I'll say I like point to them as I'm leaving, and I'm saying like, I'll be back.
Okay. See you later. All right, next. And then the next student gets up. A few minutes later, you hear a whistle, and you just hear Danica yell from over off to the side. All right, everybody huddle up. Come on, head over. All right, so thanks everybody for coming. At this point, we're whittling our list down to just a few of you. So if we call your name, I want you to stay. Otherwise, thank you so much for coming. But we are gonna have to pass. She's like really blunt about it. She is not trying to win any friends.
I appreciate the honesty.
Caleb's landed next to Leo, and he's like, no matter what happens, we still tried our best.
Oh, we're not gonna make it.
Leo's just like, I don't know. I think I did pretty good.
I wish they let us keep the broom so we could practice flying. It was incredible up there.
I know, so cool.
So you hear a few names get called out, and finally, Danica says, "Oh, and Skyler, Ashglen."
What?
Wow, Sky.
I'm really happy, but also really surprised. I was like ready to just turn around and leave.
All right, so if your name was called and you were here for the Keeper Trials, head on back over to the goalposts. Chasers, back to the center of the pitch. We're going to be doing some team drills now, so we're actually going to be doing some penalty shots. So we'll be pitting the Tryouts for Chaser against the Tryouts for Keeper. Whoever does the best makes the team. So at this point, there are only 3 Chasers left on the list and 3 Keepers left on the list.
I'm so close. You guys, what?
Woo! Yeah, Skyler, you got this.
I think I might actually have a chance. This is crazy. I should probably come clean that this is my first day on a broom.
No, don't.
Yeah,
do that.
they absolutely are.
Oh, okay. Good.
That was very
I
clear.
think Skylar's not going to know that, though. So I think, and they're very, like, one of their personality traits is honesty. So I'm going to have to say that I'm going to have a little talk with Danica.
Yeah. So as you huddle up in front of the goalposts, Danica says, "All right, now there's going to be 5 penalty shots. Whoever saves the most, you make the team."
Let's do it.
The first keeper goes up, saves the first shot, saves the second shot, misses the third, misses the fourth, and saves the fifth. So she got 3 out of 5.
I'm getting so nervous.
As she lands, Danica walks over to you. Just relax. Don't worry. Go for it.
Thanks. You know, even if I don't make the team, you seem to be an excellent captain.
She kind of gives a little bit of a smirk and says, "Look, I'm just trying to win. That's all."
Oh, understood. If I get on your team, I will win.
Okay, so you mount up and kick off and are now hovering in front of the goalposts.
Go, Skyler.
The first chaser comes towards you and attempts the penalty shot. I want you to roll a d6.
5 plus 2?
No plus 2.
Okay.
With a 5, you save the first shot. The second comes at you. This time, the chaser is obviously very capable. He's a younger looking boy with sort of like slick back brown hair. And he does a little bit of a deke to the left. And then at the last second, throws the quaffle towards the right.
Nice. It's like soccer.
Roll a d6.
4.
You miss. The quaffle goes in. Okay. Third one's up. Heads right for you. Roll again.
3.
You succeed.
Oh, I totally cheated with my hands.
Is that... did you say that out loud?
No. I can't help it. It's part of my body. I can't help it. Okay.
Fourth ball comes your way.
3 again.
Once again, you save.
Oh my god. I'm such a cheater. I can't do that.
All right, final shot. It's the boy with the slick back hair again.
Okay. 6.
You save it.
Woo!
That's 4 out of 5.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, so you land back at the base of the hoops. Danica walks up to you and kind of gives you a little bit of a smirk and says, "Nice job there. I gotta ask though, what's the deal with
My hands? I say it straight up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, I don't know how legal it is, but it would totally increase your chances of winning, Danica. So when I was a kid, basically my hands were destroyed by a magical accident, but, you know, I spent a lot of time at St. Mungo's, and they gave me these new hands, and, like, I kind of, like, huddle in front of Danica, and I, like, show her one of my hands, and then I like turn one of the fingers into like a key shape, and then I turn it back into
key hand.
Yeah, I turn it back into like a finger, and I'm like, yeah. So basically, I have like a metamorphmagus hands.
Oh wow! Oh my god! She like almost instinctively goes and tries to like touch your hands.
Oh, yeah, you can touch them. I put my hands in her hands. I'm super honest and open about it.
This is like
pretty cool, right?
This is wizard.
Oh
man.
yeah, I love St. Mungo's. They were awesome. Oh my god,
That's
such
so
nice
cool.
people. Really good healers.
Yeah, I actually don't know if that's legal.
I know.
I guess we'll probably have to go look at the rule books. Anyway, nice job out there.
Thanks. I had a lot of fun, and yeah, keep me updated. But you know, I'd appreciate it if I am the person to share my cool magic hands with people, if you know what I mean.
At that, you both look up to see the final trial. The last keeper is a really tall girl with long blonde hair. She's definitely a lot older than you, and you see her catch 1, 2, 3, 4, all 5.
Nice. Okay, I'm kind of relieved.
She lands, gets off her broom, walks over to you, shakes your hand, and says, "Hey, better luck next year."
Oh,
huh?
yeah. I'm so happy for you. And like you can see Skyler looks kind of relieved, like the tension has left them, their shoulders.
Danica then kind of gives you a little bit of a salute and says, "Hey, you know, we do have reserves on the team. If you want to practice with us, feel free to come by."
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do want to practice and get better. I want to try it next year.
And now, a word from our wizard sponsors.
We interrupt this broadcast to bring you an important announcement from the Ministry of Magic.
The Ministry of Magic has issued a recall for Olam's self-cleaning cauldron. An accidental mix-up in production caused a pot to violently expel its contents all over Grandma's family heirlooms, resulting in a pristine cauldron, a horribly disgruntled witch, and one amused teenager.
Despite the amusement of minors, please kindly return your Olam self-cleaning cauldrons to wherever pots are sold.
Hi folks, it's Kevin, your resident Potter nerd. I hope everyone is out there staying safe, and the people at Alm's Self-Cleaning Cauldron, I am told, are very sorry for any major burns or other injuries you may have sustained with their, if I'm reading this right, completely unpreventable factory defects. At any rate, I want to once again thank you all for listening to Why Can't We Be Wizards. I just have a couple of quick announcements. First off, thanks to everybody who has followed our Twitter feed, at Why Not Wizards, as well as joining the Facebook group. We're now posting some promo clips to those, so please check them out and share them with your friends. If you enjoyed this episode or any of our other episodes, please rate and review us on your favorite podcast app. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you're getting podcasts. Finally, I want to give a shout out to @Tablestory for making our awesome gaming system, Witchcraft and Wizardry. Please check them out as well. So once again, thank you so much for listening, and let's go and see what everyone's up to in Hogwarts. Okay, so first week at Hogwarts is flying by at this point. I have to ask, because it's something that I have always thought about myself. What kind of adventure, what kind of stuff did you guys get up to in your first week at Hogwarts? Does anyone do anything cool or interesting?
Ooh, yeah. I know what Skyler did. They are fascinated by the moving pictures. They had a vague memory of moving pictures when they were a kid. Before their mom died. And at Hogwarts, they're just everywhere, and they're huge. And I think Skylar's inspired to learn how to paint magical portraits. So I think they're probably going to go to the library to read a little bit about that, but also to go talk to the portraits out of curiosity,
What portrait do you go to talk to?
Yeah, are there any portraits near the Ravenclaw common room?
In the stairway leading up to the tower, there aren't really, because it's circular.
Mm-hmm.
So there's not really a good place to hang portraits there. There's some tapestries, which do have moving things in them, but they don't talk really.
I guess on the grand staircase, I'm talking to some of them on the staircase. So maybe that young girl with the flowers, Sir Cadogan, if he's up there.
Yeah. I think Sir Cadogan would actually be super interested in talking.
Awesome. Yeah. I'm gonna befriend Sir Cadogan during this time. That's what Skylar's up to.
Okay, yeah. So you walk up to Sir Cadogan, and so first of all, he falls off his fat pony. And then he draws his sword and, "Who are you scoundrel?"
Me? I'm Skyler. Who are you?
"I am Sir Cadogan.
Wow.
This land I have always fought to protect.
Wow.
Now, state your purpose or leave."
I'm here to seek knowledge, Sir Cadogan. And Skylar's waving their arm from one side of the portrait slowly to the other side, seeing if he's following their arm with his eyes.
Oh, he's not just following it with his eyes, he's following it with his sword.
Interesting.
He's very defensive, and he's now just kind of staring at you what? What say you?
Who painted you, Sir Cadogan?
He sheathes his sword and sits down on a nearby rock.
Oh man.
And he's got his hands on his chin, and he's I don't know.
Oh my god.
And his eyes are bugging out of his head, because this is such an existential question that
but
very much upset him.
I'm so sorry. What's your pony's name?
My pony? Well, I just call him Gray.
Cool.
I guess because he's gray.
Nice. That's a great name. Skylar's really trying to distract him from their last question. So, do you visit other portraits often?
Yes, I have many friends at the castle that I enjoy visiting.
Cool. So, what's that like?
I'm sorry, are you asking me what it's like to go to places and see things?
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. This is fascinating. I'm gonna approach the painting, and is it an oil painting?
Yes, it is. It's an oil painting.
Man, I don't want to upset him, but kind of blunt. I'm gonna kind of go to the corner of the portrait and try to just scrape a little piece of paint off the portrait.
"You mangy cur! Get away from that!"
Oh god.
He's ripped his sword back out.
I'm so sorry, Sir Cadogan. I think I am acting like an idiot because I'm misinformed. I apologize. Let's restart. I'm Skyler. I'm just fascinated by the portraits everywhere at Hogwarts. It's so cool. Do you sleep?
Do I sleep? So, Caleb and Allison, it's now Wednesday night, or I guess very early Thursday morning at this point. Astronomy class has just ended, and you find yourselves at the top of the astronomy tower. The rest of the class is already packed up and are now heading down the stairs to bed, but the two of you have only just put the finishing touches on your very first star charts, and you're lagging a little behind the group. What are you doing now?
Caleb's just staring at the moon. It's a half moon?
So Allison's looking out at the whole castle and at the stars, in particular the stars like reflecting on the lake, and says, "It's just so pretty."
Oh. You mean the lake? Don't... Hagrid said that thing was filled with monsters.
Well, you can't see the monsters at night.
No, not if you're not looking at... You want to get a closer look?
Well, are you talking about getting a closer look at the lake at night? No.
What?
I don't want a closer look at that.
I mean, imagine what we could learn from monsters, though.
But imagine what we could learn from the stars.
Yeah, astronomy's okay, but I don't think I really believe in all those star signs that the professor was talking about.
But I really like the moon. It's just so pretty. Although, Earth only has one moon, but a lot of other planets have more than one moon.
Oh?
Yeah, like Jupiter and Saturn. They have a bunch of moons, and Earth only has one. Doesn't kind of feel like we, lost out on the lunar lottery?
Yeah, that one moon has just got so much to do with our planet. If we had multiple moons, maybe this one wouldn't be such a big deal.
What if there was multiple moons, and so the werewolves came out more often because it was multiple full moons?
Oh no, werewolves! We should probably get back into the castle. Come on, we don't want any werewolves to eat you.
Both of you make notice something checks.
That is my strong suit. I get +1. Can I actually add my Ravenclaw bonus to this too?
Yes, you can.
Then I got a 10 with a 8 + 2.
I got a 8 + 1.
Both of you notice in the Forbidden Forest a glowing sort of light. It almost looks like there's somebody having a fire out there.
Oh, Caleb, do you see that? There's something out there in the woods.
Let's get a closer look.
Why do you always want to go look at the scary things?
That's the only way they don't get you. You remember, you gotta know about them. You gotta know what's out there.
I don't know.
Hey, instead of getting closer to it, why don't we just use the telescopes?
Oh, yeah. That's a brilliant idea, Caleb.
Caleb's gonna grab the nearest telescope and aim it down at the field near the forest.
As you angle the telescope, the fire goes out. For just a moment, it looked like there were human figures standing around this fire. But as soon as you sort of tried to get a better look, the light is gone and you can't see anything.
Caleb, what did you see? What do you see?
They put out the light. Caleb's gonna keep looking through, trying to see any figures moving away in the distance.
Yeah, so at this hour, there's very low visibility in the forest. The forest is pretty dark, right? The treetops are kind of covering almost everything as it is.
And no one comes out of the forest?
Nobody comes out of the forest.
I didn't see anything. You want to take a look?
Sure, I'll take a look. And Allison presses her eye to the eyepiece to see if she can see anything in the forest.
For an instant, you can almost see a flash of light and then nothing.
Whoa! There was lightning or something, and then it was gone. But there's no thunderstorm.
Maybe a wizard duel.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, all sorts of things live in the forest, right? I've been camping. Lots of things live in the forest.
So, Freya.
Yes.
You open your eyes, and when you do, you find yourself alone, standing in what appears to be a foggy wooded area.
Was I just sleeping?
There are trees all around you, There's no discernible path at your feet, and you're completely alone. What do you do?
So I'm in the middle of the forest.
You're in the middle of a
forest. I don't I mean, I guess I've never been to the Forbidden Forest, so I wouldn't be able to recognize it as this. Can I roll a notice something to see if I see any sign of other humans?
Yeah, go ahead. Roll a notice something.
That's a 10.
So at a 10 plus, you can ask 2 questions. Is there anyone or anything sneaking around? Did it seem dangerous? How did we get out of here? And what did it look like?
All right. Do I notice anyone or anything around sneaking around?
It feels like just outside of your peripheral vision that you can feel at least one other presence, if not more. But as you turn your head, there's nothing to be found. You can't see anything.
All right. And the second question, does it seem dangerous here?
There is an unsettling feeling in the pit of your stomach.
Fantastic. Love that. Is there like a clear path in one direction?
There is not.
There's not. Okay. I guess I'm going to kind of softly call out, hello? Is anybody there?
The silence that you hear after calling out is almost palatable.
Okay. I take that as a no. I guess I'll start walking in one direction.
Yeah, so you take a few steps. Then you feel a hot flash of heat as a jet of green light whizzes by you, missing your face by inches. And then all of a sudden, that sort of presence on the edge of your periphery is suddenly like in your periphery, and you're not only not alone, but it seems like there are dozens of other people all around you.
Oh my.
And they're all shouting. You hear a scream of pain. You can tell there's like all kinds of spells just whizzing by you left and right. Not necessarily aimed specifically at you, but almost like there's a fight going on right where you're standing.
I'm gonna make a run for it. I'm gonna run.
So you run, and you head down. You're crouching and trying to sprint as fast as you can while staying low. There are more flashes just like right above your head. It feels like you're like this close to what you can only imagine is either horrible pain or death. And suddenly, you see a break in the trees. And as you run through it, you're out of the forest and into a grassy clearing. And all that noise is just gone. Nearby, in the center of this clearing, you see a small group of, it looks to be probably around 4 people. And they're all huddling around something.
Do they look similar to the people I just encountered?
The people you encountered, you didn't really get a good look at any of them because it was so dark out. They were definitely wizards, like they had robes on. Now, where you're standing, it's almost like the break of early dawn. Like it's not quite light out. You can't really see the sun, but you can sort of like, there's more light here than there was in the forest. And the group of people you see in front of you, they look like they're all adult wizards. They're all wearing robes. But you can't really make out like who they are or what they look like.
Alright. I'm gonna run up to them and ask them for help.
So as you approach, you start to recognize the figures standing in front of you. And, well, it's weird because they're people that you know, but they don't quite look the way you remember them. Everything's really foggy. But as you get really close, you make out the faces of Caleb, Allison, Skyler, and Leo. And then you realize that you're standing in a graveyard. The 4 of them are all huddled close together. Their arms are wrapped around each other. It looks like Leo is actually sobbing. And when he kind of turns and starts to embrace Caleb, that's when you see that what they're standing over is a gravestone with your name on it. It says Freya Yaxley.
Oh gosh.
And that's when your eyes open and you wake up and you're in History of Magic class. So you hear Professor Binns talking. Everybody's in class. You hear Professor Binns talking. The Goblin War of 1476 was a very important milestone. The goblins who fought in that war have since been completely eradicated from history. And he just goes on and on. It's really boring. Like, none of you really care about what's going on. What is everyone doing in class?
Caleb's taking notes because he does care about it. He has never heard wizard history, and he's not exactly interested in this professor's retelling of it, but he's writing down words that he's going to look up later.
Yeah. Skyler's having a conversation with Caleb. They're gonna look at his notes later. This is just not the way Skyler learns, and their brain is melting out of their ears right now.
Freya's gonna write down that dream that she just had.
I think Leo started taking notes, but it quickly devolved into just doodles loosely based on the lecture. So his parchment is just filled with random doodles of war.
Allison is going to take notes. Not too many, just like the very minimal that you need, and then just doodle filling the margins of the paper. She does perhaps look up interestedly when Freya starts writing frantically, wondering what Freya is writing because there is no way that History of Magic is that interesting.
Oh, actually, is this our first class or like a later class?
It is Friday afternoon. This is the last class of the week.
Is it our first History of Magic class?
Oh no, this is your second History of Magic class.
Oh, okay. Then I think Skyler brought a book from the library about the portraits, and they're reading it under the desk.
Yeah, so that's kind of too bad because honestly, Professor Binns probably wouldn't even notice if you were reading it on top of the desk. As you look around, literally half of the class is actually asleep. Not just nodding off, literally like heads on desk. Like one of the boys in the back is snoring.
Oh yeah, I've put like 5 quills on his face. It's so fun.
Oh my god, yeah. He sniffles, and then wakes up and is like, and he looks around like,
wait till he checks his pockets. I put a thimble in it.
He puts his head back down on his desk and probably falls back asleep. So yeah, Professor Benz drones on for a little while longer, and finally class is over. He says something about homework that none of you guys are going to do. And, well, I don't know. That's probably not true. It seems like Caleb probably
Yeah, he does. He almost certainly does.
Allison will do the homework.
Freya will try to do the homework and probably just ask Caleb for help.
Ravenclaw.
Skyler's probably just going to copy Caleb's, if that's okay.
Leo has zero awareness that there was ever any.
In this class, you can copy my work. It's not like he's going to read it.
I know, right?
How do you guys know that? It's only day 2.
He's a ghost. I don't think he even noticed that we were there.
He's so dead.
He's so dead.
Seems a little insensitive.
I mean, if you help me with this class, I will help you with literally any other class. I just can't focus.
Yeah, you guys, we're going to help each other through this. We're a team, you guys.
Yeah, I'll take History of Magic.
Allison looks relieved. Alrighty, good plan. Can I take herbology?
Sure.
Is it because you think the teacher is dreamy?
I don't know that I've met the herbology teacher, but I think he is dreamy.
You have met the herbology teacher. And it is Neville.
Oh, I did not realize that. Yes, the herbology teacher is quite dreamy. I heard he killed a snake once with his bare hands.
So I had a crazy dream during that class.
Oh yeah, Freya, what were you writing down?
My dream?
Just as you start to try to explain, you guys are walking back towards the Ravenclaw common room. And as you head through the 3rd floor corridor that you're currently on, Freya, make a struggle roll.
Oh no. Oh, that's a 6 minus 2. That's a 4.
So, the sweatshirt that your parents gave you on the first day was sticking out of your bag a little bit. You feel a tug, and somebody just rips it out of your bag. And in doing so, the strap falls, and all of your books and quills and ink and everything just spills everywhere. And you see Lawrence holding your sweatshirt up, looking at it.
Give that back right now.
Why should I? Oh my god. This is a Slytherin sweatshirt. Why do you even have this?
Because both of my parents are Slytherins.
Caleb looks at Skyler.
Look at this. And he hands it to Barney. And Barney looks at it too and he's like, oh man. You guys are the worst. I can't believe you're even allowed at this school.
Freya takes her wand out. Give it back or else.
Allison is, like, hiding underneath this whole, like, commotion, trying to, like, gather all of Freya's stuff together and, like, shove it back in the bag.
Caleb is definitely drawing his wand as well, eager to back up Freya.
Yeah, Barney and Lawrence both draw their wands.
Whoa, guys. Skyler's gonna put themselves between all the wand action going on.
Freya's gonna move her to the side and cast a jelly legs jinx on one of them.
Oh no.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, roll magic.
Are we on stairs right now?
I think you're like right next to the stairs.
Oh god. Someone's
That's an 11.
Ooh.
Okay. On a 10 plus, the spell succeeds. Who are you casting it on?
Barney, who has the sweater.
Okay. Yeah, he falls to the ground and his legs are jelly now. He just like yelps. And when he does that, Lawrence also casts a spell.
Can I leap on him?
Okay, here's how this is going to shake out. I want you to roll struggle.
Me?
No. Caleb.
I got a 7 minus 1, unfortunately.
Yeah, so on a 6 you fail. You're going to stumble forward.
I fall over the jelly links.
Barney's legs, yes, exactly. Like you fall over the jelly legs. And in doing so, Lawrence, who is aiming his spell at you, actually hits Skyler instead.
Yep. I knew that was gonna happen.
No.
With, he's going to cast a jinx on you, which causes you to, like, sprout bat, like, I think it's called the Bat Bogey Hex. You're going to get, like, bat wings on your face.
Ah! Oh god. I'm gonna just start running.
Wait, the bat bogey hex transforms your bogeys into bats, like your boogers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, these wings are now sprouting out of her nose.
And they're made out of
like
boogers.
they're like trying to come out and they can't because your nose is like particularly small.
Oh god.
And so now you just like have like this horrifying thing on your face.
I'm gonna growl at those two Gryffindors. We're not done, Gryffindors. We still owe you one. And then run off after Skyler.
Freya's going to walk up to Barney, who's on the floor, and just take her mother's sweatshirt.
Allison is trembling watching this whole thing, holding her own backpack and then Freya's backpack with all the stuff sticking out of it and just watching this whole thing.
Leo had his wand out to try to make himself available to defend her, but the whole time he was thinking, oh, I thought her family might be evil.
Yeah, so Lawrence stands back up and he casts Angelify on Barney's legs. And then he looks at Leo and says, 5 on 2, and you just stand there? What are you, a coward?
No, he was letting me take revenge.
Oh.
Okay. Look, I think we've all had enough here. You guys are cowardly nerds, and we're awesome, so whatever. No harm, no foul.
Anytime, any place. I can beat you guys no problem.
What? Did you hear her? And Lawrence looks over at Barney, who's now like starting to stand up. His legs are like a little bit shaky, but he turns to Lawrence. He's like, day after day after day after day, we deal with these kids, and they don't take a hint. I don't get it.
Why don't you just leave us alone?
Why don't you just get out of Hogwarts?
Halfway down the stairs, can I realize that, like, it's just boogers?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, no, so let's say the bats have flown completely out of your face at this point.
Cool. I just initially thought that, like, my face sprouted something, and it really scared me, but yeah, like, halfway down the steps, I'm like, oh, wait, I'm not in pain, and this is just boogers.
Skyler, are you okay?
I think it's just my boogers have come alive. It's actually kind of cool.
Freya's still back there.
It's kind of cool.
I'm gonna pick my nose just to check, just like test it.
Disgusting.
Yep, definitely boogers.
You succeed.
Caleb kind of like scrunches up his nose.
I I'm gonna run back up the stairs.
Caleb is going to follow.
What do I see when I get back to the top of the stairs?
So at this point, I think Freya has her face in Lawrence's face, and they're just shouting at each other.
All right, I'm gonna put my
Yep.
face between them with all the boogies and stuff.
Oh, no.
I think that while Lawrence is distracted, maybe Leo casts a spell to make him trip as soon as he starts to move. Cast like a trip jinx on him.
Okay,
I don't know if that's how that works.
it can be. Why don't you roll magic?
I'm basically having Leo tie his shoelaces together, but with magic.
That's fantastic. Yes, roll magic.
All right.
I'm gonna say that's a harder spell though, so you're gonna get a -1 on it.
Oh no. Okay. That's gonna be a 5 plus 2 minus 1, so it's 6.
Is it a spell you
Okay.
know?
Nope.
All right. So the way that magic works, on a 6 or lower, the spell rebounds and the caster takes a condition.
Oh,
I think
damn.
in this case, the condition is your own shoelaces get tied together.
Oh no.
That sounds right. That sounds right. Okay.
So what's gonna happen is you're gonna take a step forward after you do that, like, huh? Because like the spell seemed to not have worked, and then you're just gonna fall on your face.
Okay.
Cut it out, guys. Cut it out.
I can't with the 5 of you.
Then don't.
Can I like read between the lines and see what their problem is?
Yeah.
5 plus 6, that's 11 minus 1, 10.
Wait, 5 plus 6?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean because those were the 2 dice. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can choose 2. Are they telling the truth? What are they planning? How do they see me? How can I get them to trust me? How can I make them angry? Or how are they feeling?
How can I get them to trust me? And I think how do they see me?
Yeah, so they see you as like being part of this group of what they think are
Nerds?
less cool nerds. Their parents are jocks, and they really respect strength and courage, and they see you as the antithesis of that. Your existence is like an affront to the things that they value and are important.
Okay.
So I think the way that you could get them to trust you
Yeah.
is by finding something to prove how courageous you are.
Okay.
I was gonna say Allison's gonna try to help Leo up and maybe try to untie his shoes, but she's not gonna use magic. She's just gonna like do it the old-fashioned muggle way.
Yep.
Leo's like, no, I got it. And he doesn't got it.
He doesn't got it.
It's okay, Leo. I got it. And Allison unties his shoes for him.
Thanks, Allison.
Yeah, they are untied. It happens.
Alrighty. So Allison kind of helps Leo up to his feet and then grabs at Freya's elbow and is like, come on, just leave it.
No, I want to hex them more.
Detention?
Yeah, you can get in a lot of trouble.
We're gonna
for
get
that.
detention.
Does anyone know how to like stop this booger thing?
I think it's just sort of run its course at this point. Now you just kind of have a runny nose.
Oh, okay. I Skyler wipes their nose on their cloak.
11-year-olds are disgusting. Yep.
Yeah, I got those noises for you.
There you go. Nice Foley work.
I turn to them. You know, Barnabas and Lawrence, I think you underestimate us, and we're going to prove to you that just because we're in Ravenclaw doesn't mean that we're completely devoid of bravery and courage.
Okay. Fine. Lawrence turns to Barney. They kind of give each other a little bit of a look. Barney says, fun. Prove you're not a chicken. I heard a rumor that there is this secret meeting in the Forbidden Forest. And then Lawrence is like, yeah, I actually heard that there are a bunch of ex-Death Eaters who worship you-know-who. And they go to where he's buried and, like, dance on his grave or something crazy.
Whoa.
Wait, in the forest?
We saw some lights coming from the forest, Allison and I.
Oh, yeah? Did you?
No, we didn't. We saw nothing in the forest.
And then Barney says, well, you know, I heard that they're trying to summon him back from the dead so they can use his power for themselves. And then Lawrence is like, that's not real, and punches Barney on the arm. And then Barney punches him back, and now they're just, like, punching each other.
Let's go, guys. They're distracted.
Freya just rolls her eyes.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
Allison tries to drag Freya off.
No!
Well, I got all your books.
I help.
I'm walking away.
I guess I have my sweatshirt back.
Yeah, Freya, I think you made your point.
I don't think I did.
They're still punching each other.
Well, you'll have another chance to make it later.
Poison their pumpkin juice or something. Let's go.
Wait, don't do that.
Fine.